Good morning. Bore da, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join today's webinar. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Angela Spiteri. I'm a senior marketing manager at WRAP, so mostly focusing on Wales campaigns. I head up the Wales Recycles campaigns and communications activity. So in this session, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the upcoming Be Mighty Recycle campaign, the strategy behind it, the progress we're already making in Wales, as well as share the new resources with you and tell you all about how you can get involved. I'm also going to be co-presenting with my colleague Ruth Partridge today, who heads up our workplace recycling programme. And she's going to give you the lowdown on what materials are available for you to download via the Business of Recycling website. And I also have my colleague Caroline here with me, and she'll be responding to any questions that you have during the presentation. So yeah, just pop any questions you have in the chat, and she'll do her best to respond, but anything that she's unable to answer now, we'll follow up with later in the week. Just to also give you the heads up, we are in the office and there's a fire drill on a Wednesday morning. So at quarter past 10 that is due. So I will mute it to save your ears. So without further ado, I shall start. Okay, just a little bit about Wales Recycles. Wales Recycles is Wales's leading waste and recycling brand, empowering people to reduce, reuse, recycle every day. Our Wales-based behaviour change campaigns like Be Mighty and the other comms we deliver is delivered through the brand. As you all know, we're ahead of the game in Wales. We're second in the world for recycling, which is thanks to the blueprint, the Welsh Government's blueprint, setting the standard, local authorities providing a really good, consistent service, and more recently, the implementation of the workplace recycling regs by all organisations, which is allowing people in Wales to recycle in out-of-home locations in the same way as they can do at home. So Wales Recycles plays a key part in this through dedicated comms and activities and behaviour change campaigns targeting key zero waste behaviours. So working with partners is a huge part of what we do, and particularly for our campaigns, as most of you know, we create toolkits and resources to allow you to deliver our tried and tested materials on your channels and platforms as easily as possible and also for free. So most of you already know the Be Mighty Recycle is our flagship campaign. The Mighty mission is to get Wales from second in the world to #1 at recycling, as well as helping to hit Wales's ambitious waste and recycling targets. It initially launched back in 2020 and has changed and evolved a lot over the years, always aiming to tackle the most problematic behaviours and under recycled items where we can have the biggest impact. So since 2023, our focus has been on food waste because it is the area where we can currently make the greatest impact. And over that time, we have developed, tried and tested groundbreaking approach to simultaneously tackling food waste prevention and recycling behaviours, empowering people to use up all the food they have in easy, simple dishes so that nothing goes to waste, while at the same time recycling whatever can't be eaten to help create renewable energy. And this is just a little snapshot of the campaign so far. So the food campaigns have been rolled out across 5 bursts, evolving from a food waste recycling only focus back in February 2023. And we've used the learnings to build on and improve the subsequent campaigns. And our most recent campaign, we had Joanna Page as the ambassador, which really helped to give it the recognition and extra boost. What we have found is that delivering a consistent message through multiple campaigns is actually really impactful. It keeps momentum strong and helps drive sustained behaviour change, whilst at the same time we've been trying to keep it fresh with new pieces of content and angles. So, and this is how the campaign has performed over that period, just to give you a little bit of an insight on, our awareness rates and behaviour change. So these results we've gathered through our post-campaign surveys, where we've used a consistent approach and methodology each time. The survey goes out to around 1,000 adults who have a responsibility for recycling in Wales. And as you can see, recognition and behaviour change have increased with each campaign, which really reinforces that value of building the momentum through the bursts. And as you can see with the most recent campaign, Burst 5, recognition, awareness jumped to over 50% of adults in Wales, 50% of adults surveyed said that they saw the campaign. And out of those, 3/4 said they did something differently as a result, which is staggeringly high. And just to drill in a little bit more into that, what the survey also found was that whilst recognition 51% was really high, when we drilled into kind of our key audience groups, it was even higher. So for young adults, nearly 3/4 said that they'd seen the campaign. Families with dependent children, 70% of people engaged with it. So yeah, it resonated even more with the key target audience groups. And then when we drilled into the individual behaviours that were influenced as a result of seeing the campaign, half said they're wasting less food as a result. 71% said that they feel more motivated to recycle more. And 17% started to use their service that weren't using it previously. And then nearly half of those that were surveyed said that they're throwing less food into the rubbish. So next I'm going to give you a little bit of context around our campaign strategy and our thought process. So our approach is always informed by the research, and one of the key reasons we switched from a food waste recycling only campaign to a combined recycling prevention was that the results from our compositional analysis, which showed that 25% of the average rubbish bin was made up of food, and over 80% of that could have been eaten, which highlights that edible food in the rubbish is a real problem. So we needed to find a way to tackle both. As well as the comp data, there's lots of other insights that feed into each of our campaigns. So things like understanding what the commonly wasted foods, the amount of money people are wasting, food recycling participation, barriers, motivations, and things like that. And they all help to kind of shape and craft our campaigns so they resonate, they have the highest level of resonance. And then just to talk a little bit about target behaviour. So we need to be really clear about our target behaviour because we're hitting both prevention and recycling. Targeting both is a tricky thing to do, and prevention is a tricky behaviour. You've got 4 competencies: planning, shopping, storage, and meal prep. But for this campaign, we focused on the meal prep only because actually it fits in contextually with food waste recycling. You're able to show the same thing. You can prepare a meal whilst at the same time recycle all those inedible peel stalks and other bits and pieces that can't be eaten. So our results show that the approach is clearly working, and we think that for this next campaign now, Welsh audiences are ready to take the behaviour to the next level. So for this year's campaigns, we're suggesting small, but we think complementary shift. So we want to encourage people to start preparing meals ahead of time and boosting those meals with ingredients that could have been wasted that are typically hanging around in their fridge. But in addition to that, we want to show them how they can serve up that base dish in different ways throughout the week. So a chilli, for example, could be served up with rice one day, jacket potato the next day, in a toasty the next. So that kind of thing. So showing them how they can really make their food stretch and go further. Health will also be a key focus of this campaign, showing people how they can really kind of sneak in their 5 a day into their meals. Yeah, so, and at the same time, obviously, kind of recycling what can't be eaten. So this approach also, like, crucially really aligns with what matters to our audiences, which is about saving time. They're busy, saving money, eating healthily, and, doing their bit for Wales and for the environment. And these are the behavioural steps. Put simply, we want people to prep it, set aside time to prep and cook their base dish, then flex it, boosted and served with different dishes throughout the week, and then recycle it. So, that is kind of our overarching theme: prep it, flex it, recycle it. So just to touch upon target audiences quickly before we dive in. So our audiences are typically busy families and young adults. Could be city dwellers based in large towns, may enjoy socialising and eating out. They also enjoy cooking, but lack of time is a major barrier, leading to more waste. And they tend to be more consistent or less consistent recyclers or non-food recyclers. And then in terms of our messaging, the focus is still on value. The value is in the money and the time saved and using up food that could have got wasted. And then it encourages people, by encouraging people to use up food in quick and simple dishes. There's also the health benefits, which also is another added value. And then for recycle, the value is in the potential to create renewable energy by recycling the bits that can't be eaten, as well as doing their bit to help get Wales to #1. So from our previous campaigns, we've gathered lots of valuable insights and what works and resonates and what drives real behaviour change. And now we're taking those learnings forward into the next campaign. So in the following slides, we're just going to talk a little bit about what we've got planned and how you can get involved. So this year there'll be kind of 2 campaigns, as there has been with previous years. So one coming up in the autumn and the spring. So it's worth mentioning both, so it's on your radar. So the upcoming autumn campaign will launch at the start of Recycle Week, which kicks off on the 22nd of September. So just under 3 weeks. And then the spring campaign will launch at the end of Feb, and will be rolled out for the pre-election period. So both early autumn and spring are a really good time to run campaigns like this, because they're natural reset moments when people are ready to kind of shake things up a bit and get back into make more positive, healthy habits. They've come out of the busy summer periods. Families in particular desperate for routines with their kids going back to school. So yeah, people are particularly ready to take on these new habits. So most of you will be familiar with our mighty dishes from the previous verse. So this time we're going to be refreshing them to align with our new prep it, flex it, recycle it angle. The mighty dishes will tap into our new approach of cooking a base dish in advance and serving it different ways over multiple days. We've created new recipes which include things like easy loaded chili, mix and match curry. We've got a jazzed up stew, no fuss egg bake. The mighty dishes, autumn time, are focusing on warming dishes that are nutritional and that can feed the household and be served up in different ways throughout the week. So, and one of the new activations that we're going to be introducing with this campaign is a smart cooking challenge. So this will be a digital, interactive, kind of gamey activity that will live on the landing page, where visitors can kind of go onto it, choose their preferred base dish, then flex it with the different side options. And then it will tell them what inedible items from the dishes they chose could be recycled. Educating them on the recycling element as well. So there will also be a competition element to this. So participants will automatically be entered into a prize draw when they participate, just to add an extra incentive. But the goal here is to just try and get people really engaged and interacting with the key messages to kind of inspire that change. So yeah, to give you the heads up, the Smart Food Challenge will be kind of our main call to action on all of our assets and our comms. And then this is just a snapshot of our channel mix. So, we've got our own media channels, just so you can see how it all fits together. But our media channels include things like, the Smart Food Challenge and all of our assets and blog pages and things like that. Then we've got the paid for, which is our kind of paid media strategy, which is primarily a focus on digital, so like Meta, YouTube, TikTok, to be really targeted with our audiences. But it also includes our influencers, who are really integral to the campaign. So these include kind of our regular ambassadors, Matt Pritchard and Chris Flamebaster Roberts. And there will be a lifestyle focus to all of their content. So Matt will really like dial up the health element, which aligns with our kind of new, refreshed kind of healthy eating approach. And we will be tying in with the Cardiff Half Marathon. And then Chris will be coming at it from more of a kind of family perspective. Then we also have earned media. So PR is always a key part of the campaign. Last time we had Joanna Page and we got significantly great media coverage. We haven't got anyone that high profile this time, but we are working on a story again with Matt Pritchard, which will tie in with the Cardiff Half, and it'll be kind of from base to race angle, really pushing kind of getting to number one and incorporating some new recipes designed by Matt that tie in with our Prep It, Flex It, Recycle It approach, that are great for people who are training for the Cardiff Half or kind of any other, or just, you know, having a health kick or any other kind of competition. And then lastly, partner engagement, which is a real core part of the campaign and where all of you come in. So as we've done in previous years, we've got going to have a toolkit and resources so that you're able to run the campaign on your platforms easily and for free in a way that works for you. Oh. Yeah, and just a little snapshot on how we've worked with partners in the past. So everything from social media to articles on websites, to bespoke pieces of content, and even collaborative PR pieces. Okay, so moving on to how you as partners can get involved. So firstly, just highlighting the benefits. So as well as helping Wales hit the top spot in global recycling, you can also access a load of free assets and resources, which will hopefully also help you achieve your own recycling sustainability targets. You'll help to inspire real change by using our tried and tested assets. You'll boost your brand by aligning with Wales's most trusted recycling campaign, showing your audiences that you're committed to environmental issues that are important to us. And our resources can also really help to encourage your visitors and employees to recycle correctly as well when they are out of home. And I'll give you a little bit more of an info on that shortly. And these are all the ways you can get behind the campaigns. So we've created materials to inspire your followers and the general public as well as your employees. So socials in a range of formats. You can add. We've got materials for your site, so different articles aimed at different types of audiences, employees, external audiences, visitors. We've got print materials that you can display around your buildings. Yeah, and I'll go into a bit more detail in a sec. And just to highlight, as always, the toolkit and the resources and materials are always fully bilingual and can be downloaded in both languages. Okay, so starting off with the social assets. So we're still using our characters, but they've evolved. They've had a little bit of a makeover. So we've now got an Apple creative, which aligns really nicely with autumn time. The carrot creatives on a podium, you know, they've just had a little bit of a freshen up. And some of the messaging has evolved as well. So we've emphasized the saving time aspect too in the animation. So these are available as animations and also as statics. The animations in various formats for kind of feeds and also reels. And then we've also got the statics as well, which are in landscape for digital screens and X, but also in kind of feed friendly form as well. We'll also be including an array of downloadable video content, which you can roll out across the 4-week campaign. So these will include 2 kind of new flame-based videos, one of him prepping the egg fried rice and another a pie using up leftover chicken, recycling what can't be eaten. We've got a video from Clean Ramsey. She's making kind of a healthy French toast topped with kind of ripe fruit. And then we're also going to be including, again, our 3 Mighty Dishes videos, which were actually recycled from the last verse, but they worked, they're really effective. And then also just to note, as we've done with our previous campaigns, we'll also be including a social media calendar with posts for all of the assets, the creatives and the video content to make it as easy as possible for you. So you can run them as they are or tweak them yourselves to align the message more with your message. And then we've got our customizable articles. There are three articles. The first is kind of a health kick autumn recipes, which are designed for external audiences, highlighting that autumn's a great time to reset habits with like 3 flexible recipe ideas, also showcasing about the recycling of what can't be eaten. The second is about recycling on the go. So this one covers broader materials than just food. It's about encouraging people to choose the right bin when they're out and about. And then third, and also, you know, in your buildings. And thirdly, there's an article which is aimed at employees to be published on intranets or employee newsletters. So this article kind of showcases some great like 0 waste meal ideas for like lunch ideas, aligning with our prep it, flex it, recycle it approach, and also highlighting the recycling of what can't be eaten. So we also have an array of other print materials such as posters, bus shelter artwork, lamppost banner artwork, and also vehicle livery artwork for local authorities. And I just want to also highlight here that the animations, which I talked through a few slides ago, if you're a local authority, they will be customised on your behalf with your local authority, your local version of the logo reflecting your authority. And if you do want any of the other materials customized with your logo, then please, you know, such as the vehicle livery artwork, please reach out to Caroline and she'll arrange this for you. And then finally, workplace recycling assets. So these are all geared up to encourage staff, but also visitors, students, anyone really that is recycling from outside the home to recycle better when they're out and about. So this is my final slide before I hand over to Ruth. So yeah, no, pleased to kind of share with you some new behaviour change assets that are hot off the press, literally this morning, that we'll be trialling as part of this kind of Be Mighty burst. The campaign concept is called Rescue Me Recycle. You may have seen it because the concept has actually already been trialled at a UK-wide level. It was launched last year as part of Recycle Week and has evolved over the year. The personification of the recyclables have actually kind of been inspired by the Be Mighty campaign and the characters that we developed through the campaign. But it includes wider materials than just food. The focus is on recycling, and it's all about encouraging people to think twice, tackling miscapture, encouraging people to think twice before they put anything in the black bin. So the campaign was initially delivered in the UK, targeting households. But for Wales, we think the concept would work really well in an out-of-home setting, and that's how we want to try it. And it was really effective. We know that, you know, there is a real issue with contamination and miscapture out of home. We've had this feedback from our partners and that you would like to see some kind of behaviour change focused materials around to encourage people to recycle better when they're on the go. So yeah, so we're going to take this, apply it to out of home settings. We've created just 2 assets for this particular campaign, which we want to trial with you. So there'll be a social media still, which you can see here on the left, and then a poster as well, a bilingual poster. So we would like to trial these 2, and then after the campaign, we'd love to hear your feedback and your thoughts, so we can kind of refine them, and then hopefully then the goal is to expand the suite and produce a larger kind of partner toolkit dedicated to kind of recycling out of home, building on this concept. Yeah, and as you can see here, they actually cover broader recyclables than just food. And typically we will be including items that people typically consume when they're on the go. Okay, I'm now going to hand over to Ruth to talk about the other workplace recycling resources.
Great, thanks Angela. Good morning, everybody. The sun is shining. It's a great day here in South Wales. So I'm just going to talk to you today about the workplace recycling regs, the work that we've been doing, and how we're now working together with the Be Mighty campaign. So bit of boring stuff really. The new regs came in April 2024. The key requirement is for all workplaces in Wales to separate food, metal cans and plastics and cartons, paper, cardboard, and of course glass. I'm sure this is all old news to you, but it's worth reiterating. So what we've done under the workplace regs is created a suite of assets and support and guidance to help ensure that workplaces and all the non-domestic properties are complying with the regs, that the staff are using the bins correctly. So it's quite instructional, quite matter of fact really, and not as fun as the Be Mighty assets are. What has happened since the regs have come into play is that, we've realised that many workplaces or premises have large numbers of members of the public, such as events, tourist attractions, which presents a great opportunity to work with Angela and the team on the Be Mighty campaign to amplify the messages and ensure that, citizens of Wales and people who visit Wales can recycle, whether they're at work, at home and out and about, to make sure that it becomes the norm. Following some conversations I've had over the last 2 days, I think it's really worth reminding everybody that it's every non-domestic property in Wales pretty much needs to be recycling now, whether you're a commercial gym, whether you're a large franchise coffee shop, these rules apply to you as well. This list is not definitive. I'm not going to read it out, but I just wanted to flag that, this is everybody, all workplaces in Wales need to comply. So the support that's available, there's quite a bit out there. As I've said, the assets that we've created are more instructional. So Welsh Government have got their own website with general guidance. And if you are sort of thinking, crikey, this does apply to us, I need to get sorted, check out the Code of Practice. It's a great document. It answers all the questions. It really simply explains what you need to do, how you need to comply. So that would be my first port of call if you were sort of just getting to grips with it, really. The Code of Practice is where I would start. And then WRAP Cymru, we've produced the Business of Recycling Wales website. The link is there. And on here, we've got a lot of sector-specific guidance for a number of sectors. We've got recordings of webinars that have been delivered prior to the implementation of the regs, and we've done additional ones. All the recordings are there. We also have communication support, posters, which I will run through with you now. This is the guidance that we have. We've got general guidance for hospitality and food service, retail. The list is there. I don't need to read them out. But what has become apparent is that some of these sectors have subsectors that need more support. So we now have, under residential settings, guidance specifically for care homes. Under leisure and entertainment, we've now produced some support for caravan parks and campsites. So we're always open, to talk to sectors to find out if there's maybe a subsector that needs a little bit more specific guidance. We're happy to look at that and support accordingly. In terms of the communication support, sorry, can you move slides? Sorry, whoever's in charge. We're on slide 37. Oh, I'm so sorry. The slide deck is available, so hopefully it will make more sense. So 37 with the icons. That's it. Sorry about that, everybody. So yes, we have the material icons, which I'm sure you're all very aware of. These are part of the huge UK-wide iconography that is very well known. It's got a great recognition rate, and so we do encourage all premises to use these icons. We have them, of course, in different layouts, fully bilingual, landscape, portrait, as you can see there, just an example. Next slide, please. I'm so sorry about the next slide thing. Sorry. As I said, our assets are instructional. So we have these posters, very simple. We have images, photographic images of what can go in the bins. We've got the list of what cannot go in the bins. Obviously work with your waste companies to make sure that these are accurate and this is the material they are accepting, but this is what should be going in your bins. Next slide, please. Those posters are very customizable. We also have low ink options. We realized when we designed them that a small company printing off for those posters would get through a lot of printer ink. So we do have them all in that low ink version and always fully bilingual. We do have posters for more material streams, for metals only, plastics only, if you want to, do the best recycling possible and collect everything completely separate, then we do have posters for that. The link to all of these resources are on the Business of Recycling Wales website. Next slide, please. And as I said before, we have done some additional support work for caravan parks and campsites, including the poster there, the recycle poster, where it has all the material streams on one sheet that we designed for use in sort of the sink areas of caravan parks to help explain to the campers what they need to be doing when they're on site. And then on the right hand side, we have a welcome leaflet that can be customizable, just to outline what the rules are on the campsite and caravan park, what guests need to do to comply. So again, we could look to amend that, to make that suitable for other locations as appropriate, really. Next slide, please. And then using an old campaign, the We Do campaign that was run a number of years ago, we looked at more motivational posters for use around caravan parks, just to encourage visitors, to help Wales get to number one. And again, we can look to do assets to be more specific to tourist attractions, to open spaces, National Trust type parks, that kind of thing. But it's just a really great opportunity to be working with Be Mighty. We're doing the boring instructional how-to stuff. Then Angela and her team are doing the really creative, carrots and eggs and all that kind of stuff. So working together, we can make sure that Wales will get to number one, and making sure that recycling is just the norm when you come to Wales, whether you're working at play or just generally out and about. And next slide, please. And back to Angela. Thank you.
Thanks, Ruth. And just to also point out that all of the workplace recycling resources will be, there'll be a link through the Be Mighty collection page as well to be able to easily access them. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr. Hope you found that session useful. And just before I finish, just want to say huge thanks to everybody for getting behind the campaign. Yeah, it's super important and it's making a big difference. Just a few key dates to point out before we end. So the campaign toolkit will be up on RAP's resource library by tomorrow, and we'll circulate an email to confirm along with the recording of this webinar. And just to reiterate, the campaign itself will launch on Monday the 22nd of September at the start of Recycle Week, and then it will run for 4 weeks until Sunday the 19th of October. So you can get behind it and promote it any time during that period. And yeah, just to also say that if we'll follow up with any responses to your questions after this session. But if you do have any other questions or feedback, please get in touch with myself, Ruth, or Caroline if you're a local authority. Thank you very much.